Alright, welcome back to another video. I do apologize on the delay between videos. I had some stuff come up that I had to take care of and didn't have time to record, get a live intro recorded. And to be honest, my gameplay was... I mean, the games were halfway decent. They were decent games, but they didn't showcase... They didn't showcase the things that I thought were important to playing this ship. And I finally was able to get one today earlier. And I'll do a voiceover on that for you guys, and I'll tie it to the end of this video. So let's talk about the Colorado. The ship you're going to have to play 3 times. Obviously, you know, you guys, everybody knows it's an old ship. 1923 was built in. You got a nice amount of hit points. Your Citadel protection's horrible. Damage reduction's decent. It doesn't have the great U.S. Navy fire and flooding resistance yet, although your torpedo damage reduction isn't bad. I've got it spec'd out. We can do just over 20 knots. The turn time isn't horrible, but if you know how to play, how to feather your throttle and your rudder controls, you can really improve your turn time by playing with those when you're doing torpedo dodges. These 406s, they are probably some of the most inaccurate guns in the game, in my opinion. Thing about these ships, they're not backline snipers. Until you start getting into, you know, when you start progressing up the Vermont line, then you can sit back a little bit. You've got a little bit better accuracy to work with. But the Colorado kind of plays like, to me, the North Carolina with its guns, how you aim, and just pure volume of fire over precision and accuracy. Secondary guns, you got 9 on each side. Nice. AA, non-existent. Surface detection, pretty bad. But you're at tier 7, which unfortunately ties into your tier 7. You're going to get tier 8 matchmaking, so you're going to be running into freaking Atlanticos and DZPs and Romas. You know, sometimes you get lucky, you get tier 6, but, you know, expect the worst with this. That was always my thing with it. Elite bonus. If you're going to put the resources in it, the blueprints into it, always go main gun firing range. I believe this is the first time you get access to the artillery plotting room modification. Some people are going to say, with some of the ships, you want to go dispersion. And I can't really argue with it. It's not bad. It's not my choice. Any American ship that gives you this this particular equipment mod, you take it, in my opinion. The extra 4% main battery firing range, great. But even better is the extra secondary range. It really does come in handy. Now, I go propulsion mod for acceleration. On this one, I go steering gear mod. Give a little extra help with the steering. This commander was one I had lying around that I respected in the Colorado when I had to do the... I believe this one I had to do the Kansas grind right after the Vermont line dropped when I started actually playing with it. So I've had him here for a little while. I may have bounced him around a couple times, but not a terrible build. I think in retrospect, I was kind of building this one to throw on to... I think I switched him around to move him eventually onto the Louisiana line. With that being said, like I said, I did find a nice... I was able to record a nice game. It's a loss, but gives you a mind of what my positioning thoughts are on this ship. How you want to stay in these ships especially, you want to stay in the center of the battlefield. You can't flank in these ships because of your speed. You want to be real careful and stay as close to center as possible. That way, you can get shots on either side, and you can maximize your damage potential with these ships. And like I said, the game was a loss, but it really showcased to me a lot of things about the ship, and if you're going into down to the Vermont line of how to play these ships. So with that, I'm gonna get the gameplay up and hope you enjoy it. All right, here's the Colorado game I promised you. Turn the volume down a little bit so we're not deafened. So, you see everybody's favorite map, Hourglass. My initial thought with this ship and any of these ships is you want to get yourself centrally positioned. So obviously I'm going to ignore my cruiser there about capturing the enemy base because, well, let's be honest, you're not doing it. You're going to see I'm moving myself to a central position. I'm going to move myself somewhat behind that island to where I can still lob over it, but keep myself undetected and protected as long as I possibly can. So, I mean, I am depending on him and my destroyers to do some spotting for me. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate this over and over with this ship. Do not run down a flank. You do not want to put yourself in a position where you're just out of the match. You might get 1 or 2 ships next to you, but the other 5 might head the other way. And you really kind of hosing yourself. So try to stay as central as possible. Now you notice I'm behind the island. I was able to get some shots out at the Fiji. Dispersion didn't help me there. But most importantly, I'm still undetected. Now I'm watching for that Gallant to see where he's off to. And we have that Akatsuki I got to pay attention to. So you can see I was just a little too close to the island. But I did get a nice hit on that Fiji. I'm detected now with the Akatsuki coming down through the middle. So I'm watching for torpedoes coming down through the gap there. And you're going to notice, as I'm zooming in and out, I'm looking to see if I can see where that Gallant went off to. Because nobody's spotting him for me, and I don't know exactly where he is. So this is another thing about these ships. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't laser lock. Don't zoom in and just stay there. Like I said, you can see me. I'm in and out of my zoom constantly, poking my head around, looking to see if I see some torpedoes coming through. Looking to see if I see if he pops smoke trying to come around the island to surprise me. This is all I'm looking for while I'm waiting for my main guns to reload. Now you see I'm going to switch over to HE because of the destroyer. And I'm going to stick with the HE after this for a little bit because you see I bounce shots off of a Nagato at range. Again, I'm looking for that Gallant. I don't know where he is. He's not spotted. So I'm more than willing to line up HE on that low health Dallas. Now you'll notice on the mini-map, and I was watching this, there's a Renown 44 that flanked down the side and just absolutely wreaking havoc on my team. That's a ship that you can do that with. This is not that ship. Again, I'm going to keep the HE loaded because I don't know where Gallant is. And I'll take some HE damage into Nagato versus some Zero Pens any day. But you notice I'm keeping myself as central as possible. I'm adjusting my course and my speed constantly. Alright, so now we figured out where Gallant is. So now I can move around a little bit more and try to hopefully support the guys on the other side of the cap. And it's Gallant with a pain in my rear end most of the game. Not because of torpedo drops or anything, but just because I didn't know where he was. Ordinarily I would like to be pushing out by now and towards the enemy cap so I could get that Nagato under better fire, but the two destroyers still in play and not being spotted. You really have to really just have to, like I said, pay attention and not get too aggressive. And again, remember, you're grinding a ship. The most important thing you can do in a ship grind is stay alive. Get as much damage as you possibly can. Stay alive. Even if you lose the match and you have a nice, 60, 70,000 game in a ship like this, it's a decent, it's not the best haul of experience, but you could do a lot worse. I don't know, let's say Mr. Gallant pops out there. So I'm going to, real quick, I'm going to do a little quick rewind. I was expecting him to come out from the other side of the island, but you notice I wasn't going fast to begin with. I was able to slow down nice and easy. I didn't even try turning that one because I knew I was still going to eat no matter what 2 torpedoes. And now I'm trying to make sure I change my course and acceleration again to knock off the Akatsuki torpedoes that should be coming. So, I mean, you could probably make the argument that I'm playing a little selfish here. But I was trying to look at it from the angle of, okay, I'm grinding a ship. When I'm grinding a ship line, I'm like I said, stay alive, do as much damage as you possibly can, and get the team score up there. Because if you lose, you get the battle star. That's more experience points than dying in the first minute of the match with 15,000 points of damage. So I said, in the grand scheme of things, maybe not the greatest game in the world. Now you see how easily I was able to dodge his torpedoes by, knowing he was gonna fire them off at me. All right, now I'm looking for the Mr. Gallant yet again. I said, I know he's gonna come around from behind me somewhere. And, at this point in time, being the only ship left, I know I don't have a chance in hell to be able to win the game. Now, if I could have finished off this Fiji right here, or had another, 30 seconds to the match, at least maybe I could have got a draw out of it. But, like I said, it's a losing game, but I think everything that goes on in this is proper Colorado gameplay. Maximize your damage, stay alive. Most importantly, like I said, you're grinding. You're grinding this lineup. Make sure you get as much experience points as you can out of each game. Okay, you guys are watching this over just like I am. You guys can maybe point out and see things I did wrong, could have done better. Leave it in the comments if you thought there's something better I could do in this one. Hope you enjoyed it.